Alright everybody, now I guess the next thing to do would be to take a quick look at some of the Dreamcast accessories and peripherals that they released for the system. I guess the first one that we can take a look at is the Dreamcast Controller itself.
Lovely sweet.
Alright guys, this is a Dreamcast controller. As you can see, it has 4 face buttons, it has a start button, a D-pad, and a single analog stick. Also, on the back of it, it has some triggers here, and we might be used to this from our modern consoles, but back then, nobody really had triggers per se. The only triggers that they had were ones on the Super NES controller or the N64 controller, which were really just a button on the back. Those were all fine and dandy, but really this was the first time we saw any actual triggers that would have a certain force response to them. With these kind of triggers, you could control your car much better in racing games. You could also just have more force control over what you were doing in the game. It was really pretty innovative, and this was the first system to implement that sort of trigger functionality. Anyway, inside the controller we also have VMU here. This is the Dreamcast's main memory saving method. The VMU outside of the Dreamcast controller ran on a watch battery, and you could play mini games while you weren't even using your Dreamcast. Pretty cool stuff, although implemented rather badly. The screen, first of all, isn't that impressive to look at, so you didn't really feel like you wanted to play any games on it. Not only that, but the battery life was pretty horrible. The battery could last for maybe 5 hours if you were lucky. And the fact that it's a watch battery, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have that many watch batteries lying around my house. If this thing ran on AA's, that would make it a lot better right away. But it's a little bit too small for that, I think. Anyway, some cool things about the VMU is that when you had it in your Dreamcast controller, it would run on the Dreamcast's power. So it would still display images while you were playing games. So let's say you're playing Resident Evil Code Veronica, you would have Jill fighting a zombie on the screen or something. It still wasn't that impressive to look at, but it was just a cool little extra. Anyway, let's take a look at another accessory for the Dreamcast that I think you guys are all gonna enjoy. This is the Dreamcast Light Gun by Mad Catz, and it looks like a price scanner that you would find in your average supermarket or convenience store of choice. If I bring it up closer to the camera here, you can see that it has a VMU slot in the back, so you can plug your VMU into there. It also has a mode and a B button on the side. The trigger feels really nice, really responsive, has a nice spring back to it. And even though it looks like a price scanner, it does have a nice feel to it. On the other side, instead of a mode button, they have a start button, which is useful. The most interesting thing about this I think, is the little analog stick that they have in the back here. This is a small analog stick that would be used to navigate menus, and it doesn't move too much, but it's right where your thumb would go when you're holding the gun. I think it works really nicely, and I'm really a big fan of it. I think it's rather nice. I'd like to thank Ed for getting me this gun. I couldn't have gotten it without him. And I'd also like to thank him for this next game that I'm going to show you guys. House of the Dead 2. Alright, so this is House of the Dead 2 for the Dreamcast. And it looks a lot like the arcade version.
The House of the Dead.
In fact, it looks exactly like the arcade version, I'd say.
Of the Dead.
Instead of playing the arcade mode, let's just go right to the original mode so I can show you some new features. In House of the Dead 2, in the arcade, you don't have any of these extra items that you can take. But in this mode, you can add items to your inventory. You can add stuff like extra lives, and you can also gain more over the course of playing the game. Currently, I only have Chamber plus 2. This adds a little bit more replayability value to the game, and lets you play it over and over and over again with a couple of new things to do.
G over there. No, not G. How could this happen?
I completely forgot to reload.
G! Gary, I tried. Don't underestimate the enemy. Gary, take this.
And here comes one of the best video game lines.
Harry and Amy are coming to back us up. Hurry, go. Thanks, G. No!
And I can never save that guy, ever. And I'm really doing bad, so I can use one of my continues already.
I don't want to die.
Yes, we all know you don't want to die.
God.
Oh, I shot her. That wasn't supposed to happen.